Everyone, welcome to tonight's call. I'm Christina Martinez-Williams. We're going to get started in just a minute, and then we're going to give people a couple minutes to get on. So if you're happening to invite people or you have a friend who's joining you on this call, send them a quick text, send them a quick reminder that we're going to get started, and we'll get started in about a minute. If you're an educator, as you pop on this call, put in the chat what part of the education field you work in, what's your role, how long have you been an educator, or if you were an educator in the past, share that with us, because I say once an educator, always an educator. It's in your heart, it's in who you are, how you behave, what you do, and so drop that in the chat. I'd love to see. Awesome. I see that Brandy teaches third grade, 12 years. Oh my gosh. And Annalisa, 25 years as a teacher. Sarah is a 7th grade math teacher in the past. Dee Dee, special education, 7th through 12th. Awesome. Keep sharing in the chat. If you're an educator, trainer for a credit union for 2 years. Awesome. I love that other aspect of education. Definitely an educator. Education can look so different and is in so many different ways. So keep sharing in the chat and we'll get started in a minute. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know we're 1 minute in. We want to be really respectful of everyone's time tonight. And so we're going to get started, but we are recording. So this is something that can be shared. So exciting, because I know that lots of teachers utilize time in the evenings if you're as a teacher to do stuff to prepare for the next day. So if that is someone that you know, no problem. We get to share this. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Christina Martinez-Williams. I live in Fort Washington, Maryland. I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old who I'm homeschool, world school, unschooling in my house. And I am a former educator myself. I started in higher education and have 3 master's degrees in education and was a resident director for 4 years. And then I moved back into, or not back, I went to the start of it all in the classroom as in an alternative teaching program in Washington, D.C. in an urban setting, and did that for 3 years, taught in a adjudicated facility for men, and then ages 14 to 20, and then moved into a coaching role of teachers in the residency program for 4 years. So this is my background. I love education. I love all aspects of it, from the young to the old to the adults to all of it. And I think that educators are pretty amazing. And I think that we all are educators in our own ways. And obviously a lot of us have this as our role in our jobs. So I'm excited to share with you all about ketones, what they are, and introduce you to some people who are going to share their stories with you and what they've experienced drinking ketones as educators in their field, and what that's done. As a coach of teachers, I was able to see because I was drinking ketones at that time, I was able to really see the value and the benefit of what these can do and we're doing in my own life, but what they can do for other people. So I've been drinking ketones for 5.5 years and have been sharing them for 4. But I started drinking them when I wasn't teaching anymore and when I was in transition to coaching, and then when I was coaching. So when I started, I was 6 months postpartum, and people asked me, I had a 6-month-old and 2-year-old, and they were asking me if I was pregnant. And because I looked like I was, they were also, I was feeling very uncomfortable mentally, physically in my own body, and was resigned, this might just be how it was. As a mom who gained a lot of weight with two pregnancies and who hadn't dropped that weight, I thought maybe I had to accept that. So I coped by not looking in the mirror anymore at myself. And I stopped, I was hiding in that way. I was hiding from other people by wearing maternity clothes that were roomy and comfortable, but hid my fat, hid the extra that I had. And then I also hid in pictures by putting people in front of me, and hiding behind my girls, putting my girls in front of me so that people could see them, but not necessarily see all of me. And I also was really focused on my limitations. I was negative, and I was always down on myself for not accomplishing the goals that I had for myself, as a person, and because I felt like I didn't have the energy during the day to do everything that I wanted to do with my girls and with my job then as a coach, or prior to that as I was transitioning, and then felt like when the girls went to sleep, I didn't have anything left to give. I had just enough to watch a show or just to go to sleep, and wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And then I was breastfeeding as well. And so I was waking up in the middle of the night and not able then to have the full energy and sleep that I needed to be able to be the mom that I wanted to be. So since drinking ketones, I have dropped 34 pounds of fat. I've dropped 10 to 12 pant sizes. And I'm now comfortable and confident in my body. And people ask me if I work out all the time because I have very lean and defined muscles. And I now can wear a size that I've never thought was possible for my body. I've never seen this size or weight. It's never existed in my adult or youth life. And I get to focus now on what I can do and on my opportunities and what's available. And when the girls go to sleep now, I get to get a lot done. So I don't remove my mom hat for sure, or my educator hat, but I get to wear my hat of me and accomplish what I want to accomplish, and have accomplished more than I had planned. And that included, when I was coaching, that included teachers. It included giving and pouring into them in the way that I was wanting to and able to, and then maintaining that. And now with being home with the girls and educating them in the house, as well as doing 2 jobs from home, I get to have the energy and the focus to do that, as well as be more calm and more patient. It's still a challenge for sure, as it is for all educators, wherever your kids are that you're educating, or youth. That can be a challenge, and ketones have really helped with that. So I'm so excited to introduce you to more people who are going to share what ketones have done in their life, and talk a little bit about what they are. So it's a liquid. Well, this one's a liquid. We do have liquid ketones now, as well as powder. So you either have a liquid or a powder that you shake up into water, and then you drink it within 15 to 30 minutes. And in a half an hour, you are in ketosis. And that is amazing, because prior to ketones, that was not possible if you didn't follow a strict keto diet or do a prolonged fast. So now with ketones, you can get into ketosis and benefit with better energy and focus, mood, sleep, easier fat loss, reduced cravings, and have that ability to navigate everything that's going on. So I want you to drop in the chat again. I know that we've had some more people pop on. Drop in the chat, if you haven't yet, what your role is in education. If you're drinking ketones or not yet, drop that in the chat. If you're new, say new. If you have been drinking them, drop in the chat how long you've been drinking them. And I want to know what is it about your education, if you were working in education in the past, or you're currently working in education, what is a challenge for you in that? I know that for me, long hours, little breaks, and lots of deadlines, lots of expectations and responsibilities, and then the need and desire to impact a lot of lives with a little of what I had. That's what I felt as an educator. So drop that in the chat too. I'd love to see, and I see some new and instructional assistant. Hey, Pam, and new to ketones for 2 months, here to learn, new, not having the time for a family. Yes, that is so real, that you spend a lot of time outside of the house and then come home and want to give to your family, and yet have given so much during the day to so many different people and in so many pulls on who you are and on your strengths and gifts. Great. Awesome. So I want to pass the mic over to, I want to hear from Tiffani first. And Tiffani is going to come off mute and share with us and introduce herself, where she lives, how long she's been drinking ketones, and her story is amazing. Tiffani, are you on?
I am. I'm right here.
Yay. Hi.
Hi. Hey guys, my name is Tiffani and I am an assistant principal in the Fort Worth area. I've been doing that for 2 years, but I've been in education for 19 in several roles, coaching as Christina did, as well as in the classroom. And I've been drinking ketones for 9 months. I knew that I needed to make a change, better mood. I wasn't sleeping well. I was tired all the time. I gained the COVID 15 or 30. I don't really know. And so I just needed something different. Like you said, I put my best like happy face on all day at school for the kids. And then I got home and it was not pretty. So, it's been such a blessing with ketones. I drink my charge on my way to work. So I get energized up and ready to, take on the day. And I feel like I'm just so much more productive. I get things done. I stay organized. I can keep up with, all of the things that we have going on. So, and then I typically drink my caffeine free right before I go to bed. I feel like that gives me the best, sleep. I've never been a deep sleeper, and that has changed with ketones. I sleep deep and hard. And my husband is a police officer and gets home at 2 a.m. from his shift, and I don't wake up anymore. So that's fabulous. And I have also lost 25 pounds in the last 9 months. And that's been due to ketones. So I look forward to getting my walks in the afternoons, and that was never a thing. So I'm just excited to possibly lose a few more pounds and be able to share this amazing technology with other educators or whoever will listen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffani. I think your story is so powerful because mood is such a thing, and it's a thing that is shifted by so much by how we feel. And when we feel better, we get to be better. And it's really important as educators that we're better for ourselves, but so many people rely on us, whether that's youth or adults or anywhere in between, rely on us for lots of things, especially if they're younger. They're relying on us for mood even. And so to have that ability to navigate your mood and to navigate that in a way that's calm, and even though if we have challenges with that, for sure, ketones make it even more possible. And the reason for that is that ketones are fuel for your brain. They are actually 100% bioidentical to what our liver makes naturally. And they're naturally fermented. So when you drink them, they're going directly into your blood, and your body gets to use them. Your brain, your heart, and your muscles actually prefer ketones over glucose. So regardless if you eat a keto diet or a low carb diet or not, when you drink our ketones, you are in ketosis, meaning you have ketones in your blood. You have an elevated level of ketones in your blood, and your brain gets to function on that. And it's a more efficient fuel source for your brain for everything. It sends more oxygen everywhere. It sends more ATP energy everywhere. And it makes it possible for us to navigate that mood and to have that energy. So it's not this, I often would walk into teacher lounges, and I would sit in them to do some debriefs with teachers after coaching. And I would see teachers chugging lots of things that are full of caffeine, lots of drinks usually that are full of caffeine and sugar. And those give us that energy high, and then it crashes us afterwards. And the great thing about ketones is it gives you this calm, sustained energy that allows you to not have that crash, but to continue to get stuff done and to have that focus. And as a teacher, as a teacher or any educator or an administrator, an assistant principal, whatever role that you have in education, you're demanded to have focus on lots of different things at once, and to figure out what to do with those. And when you have a brain that's working on ketones, it's amazing because your brain gets to say, whoa, I know what to do because I'm thinking clearly, and I know where to go, and I know how to navigate all these things that are happening at the same time. And it gives you such a easier way to live and to cope with the all the demands that come on a teacher. If you can relate to that and you're drinking ketones already, and our educator, put 1 in the comments, because that focus and that mental clarity is such a huge piece of what we're doing. And the brain fuel is really what this is about. And you got to hear how Tiffani dropped weight in the process and that she lost fat. And that's amazing too, because I think that also affects how we engage as teachers. We're moving all the time. Sometimes we're sitting, but depends on if you're virtual or not, but there's a lot of movement involved. Thank you, Tiffani. It's great to have you on. Morgan, if you are here, I see you. Can you come off mute and share your story? I'm excited to hear you.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Morgan. I am super excited to be on here with you guys tonight to talk all about education and ketones. So I am in New Jersey, where currently it is not that cold, but tomorrow it's going to be 65. And then this weekend we'll be in the low 30s again. So I have been teaching for 5 years total. I've had a background in education for about 12 years. I have been teaching in all different age groups, ranging from kindergarten to 2nd grade. And I currently work with 18 to 21-year-olds that have multiple disabilities in a career development program. So we are busy from the time I get to work till the time I leave to really work on job skills, career goals, getting them out to job sites, because their main goal is to really get them on the ground running when they leave our program with a full-time job. And I'm also going to begin working on getting my master's in BCBA. So before ketones, I was working a very long day. I was in Camden for 4 years, like I mentioned. My days were 16-hour days. I had long commutes to work and home. And at the time, I was a new mom in a pandemic. So I have a 16-month-old son who is my absolute world. And I was always on that roller coaster of energy, just like Christina was talking about. I was barely a coffee drinker. The only time I really drank caffeine was when I had my pre-workout, when I worked out every day, but I would always go up and then I would crash. I had no energy. I didn't have like a good mood. By the time I got home from work, it was about 6 o'clock and it was about time for the baby to go to bed. And I just never had time for myself. And that was really impacting my day-to-day life. And postpartum was starting to creep back in. And that is when I knew like I needed to do something. Working out wasn't even my go-to that much anymore. I just had no motivation for myself. I wasn't showing up for my kids, who at the time in that pandemic and still today, catching up from everything, really needed me as their teacher and educator to get them to where they needed to be. And I couldn't even be there for myself. So it was almost perfect timing. It was Teacher Appreciation Week. I saw a friend's post where McDonald's was giving out free breakfast for a week for teachers, and she was giving out free 5-day trial packs for ketones. My dad was on them 4 months before I even started joining. So I kind of knew what they were because I told him to try it out. And I said, you know what, why not give it a try? I have nothing to lose. The worst that can happen is I don't see anything from this. So I got the 5-day trial pack. And from that point on, I was hooked. I instantly got my 10-day challenge box. I became a promoter and I got my max builder and just started my business because I truly believed in this product. It got me out of my dark hole of postpartum. I had such clean energy from the time I left for work now until the time I get home. So I'm such a present mom and a wife. I have that energy all day for my students. I have the patience. The fat loss is an added bonus. I was able to finally break that plateau that I was stuck at for so long, trying to lose that baby weight. And I really just found myself again. So I'm just so excited to continue like showing up for myself, drinking these drinks every single day. Like Christina mentioned earlier, it is a packet or a liquid that you pour into water and you just drink it. And these amazing benefits come with these drinks. It's super simple. And as a mom and an educator, I need simple. And this was exactly what I was looking for to make my day-to-day life that much easier. So I'm so excited to continue to be a better teacher for my kids and for my son as well.
Wow. So incredible. Thank you, Morgan. I'm always blown away about the power of ketones to help us get back to taking care of ourselves so that we can take better care of other people. I think often, especially, I think educators, I always say this about moms, but I think it's really true about educators too, is that we're so used to caring for, educating, doing for others, that often we lose sight of ourselves in the process, and lose ourselves and lose the leading of ourselves in the process. And I think, Morgan, you articulated that really well, of how ketones have given that back to you, and now you're able to give more because of where you're at with yourself. And the more we lead ourselves and help ourselves feel better, the better we can be in our roles and give back to the people that are around us, which is amazing. I want to also talk about the reduced cravings that ketones give you, because often when we're in places of need for energy, or for feeling, when we get home and we don't have time, or we don't have that simple, we reach for things that then create more, with carbs and sugars, that create more carbs and sugars cravings. And with ketones, they're amazing because they do reduce they reduce the impact of those carbs and sugars, but they also are going to reduce the cravings for those and help us make better decisions in the process. Thank you, Morgan, for sharing. I have one more person to share, and she's also here to help host this call. And I'm really excited for you to hear her story as well. Sarah Ramos is with us, and she's in Mexico right now, which is really exciting. So she's going to come off mute and share her story with ketones, and then we're going to shift gears just slightly.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am coming from Mexico. It's so funny. I'm looking for like smiling faces. I don't know, as an educator, if you look for those like good students out in your classroom that validate that you're crushing it in your lesson. I'm like, let me find a page really quick of smiling faces. And so I love that you are all on here. I taught middle school math for 9 years. It was absolutely amazing. It was a great chapter of my life. I was the kind of person that said yes to everything. And so I was coaching cross country. I was coaching track, even though I was not a runner at all whatsoever. But they asked me to do it. I just said yes. I was doing the math lab. I was doing the advanced kiddos. I had all the PBI, all the 504, and all the IEPs. My principal said that I worked really well with those kiddos who were different than the norm. And so it brought me a lot of fulfillment to be something special in their life. And so as a result, I got super burnt out because I said yes to everything. And I had so many different prep periods, and I just took so much on, like throughout my heart. Like I wanted to adopt some of my students, and emotionally, it was just really, really tough for me. I'm originally from Idaho, so Idaho teachers don't make a lot. I hope you're in a state where you were just crushing it. But for me, I had to waitress on the side. So I was coaching after school, I was waitressing on Sundays, and I was catering weddings on Saturdays. I was working about 70 hours a week. I never got to see my husband. We just saw each other in passing. He worked more of a commissions job, so he worked nights and weekends. So we would just see each other in passing. And so in 2015, my husband said, let's make this your last year of teaching, and let's just see if something else is out there for you that brings you like fulfillment to where you're excited to start your day and we actually get to see one another. So 2016 was my last year of teaching. I left my job and I decided to let my teaching certificate expire so it wouldn't be my plan B. And I would be in the pursuit of what set my soul on fire, not knowing what that was going to be. So ketones fell into my hands when I was waitressing 30 days after I had left my teaching career. And I'm the kind of person that like, I don't have just like natural energy. I was always running off of coffee. Is there any other coffee drinkers that in between every class period, you were warming up your coffee? Because that was me. Between every class period, I'm like, okay, I have this much time. I need to warm up my coffee and I need to go to the bathroom. So I was always just like running on coffee all the time. And I thought that's what my body needed. I started drinking ketones, and my husband, first of all, said, what has gotten into you? You are in such a good mood. And I'm like, well, I'm drinking these ketones. And he's like, well, I want to be a shining bright light like you right now. And I want to drink some ketones too. So he started drinking them with me. So I think it's pretty amazing that someone else can see it in us before we can see it in ourselves. It just shows you like the impact that ketones can make, beyond just trying to make a physical change for yourself, you're going to impact your families, and people are going to rise up to what you rise up to when they're around you. And it just makes you feel good to bring something positive to other people. And so I started drinking ketones. Within my first week, some friends said, Sarah, what are you doing? Share your secret. You are thinning out. And I was like, shut the front door. As a teacher, I was always doing like Slim Fast, or I was doing a meal replacement shake. I was doing like the next best diet, which were never like good diets that were not maintainable, just because I wanted to drop weight fast, and then I would gain it all back because nothing was maintainable for me. And so I was like, I can't believe these ketones are actually doing something like that for me. So I went home, weighed myself. I was 5 pounds down, threw my scale out because I was like, I am not going to measure my success based on that number on that scale. So out goes my scale, and I'm going to measure my success on how I feel, on how my clothes fit. As a teacher, I didn't like who I saw in the mirror. I would like cover in different layers. I was like, well, I'll wear this like cami, and then I'll wear this shirt, and then you better believe I'm gonna put a cardigan over that, because I was just trying to hide like the middle section a little bit. And so I was just never comfortable in my own skin. So I couldn't believe like what ketones had done for my confidence. For other people just saying like, Sarah, like you've changed so much. I saw the vision of what ketones could do beyond just a physical change. I was like, man, if it can do half of what it says on the box, this could be my vehicle to help people at a level that I've always wanted to help people at. All of those kiddos that had those plans, I was like, man, if I could just help them. All the kiddos that were like struggling as far as like academics and home life, I was like, what if this could be something absolutely amazing for not just like people my age, but grandmas and grandpas and kids and parents. It could be good for everyone. And so I saw the vision of what ketones can do to help people for the better, and just took off with it. I was like, I'm not slowing down, because I know what it's done for me, and I know what it's done for my loved ones. So I'm going to share this at a really high level. And I wrote in the chat earlier when Christina was talking about how, as an educator, I thought to myself, like, we are not fit to have a family, because how can you, I don't understand how people do it. It is so like draining for me to even think about working all day long. And as teachers, we pour so much into our students. We pour so much into our lessons. We pour so much into those emails that we get from those parents. Like, we just want the best for our kiddos. And so energetically, I would pour so much out, and physically, I would just be exhausted when I got home, that we thought having a family just wasn't in the cards for us. We thought, how do people work all day and then come home to the most important thing in the world, which is their child, and have time to actually be a family? And we just didn't see it as something that we could do. So we decided that a family wasn't for us. Fast forward, we have been doing this since 2016. I've been doing it full time the entire time. My husband joined me full time in 2017. It's absolutely amazing. We wake up with a purpose. We are super excited to start our day. We have a 2-year-old. Her name is Indy May. And it's a journey that I never thought that I would be on. Like, I think to myself, somebody handed me a business card while I was waitressing. And as a result, our entire future is different. Like, we brought the most precious human being into this world. And I was chosen to be her mama because we simply decided that we wanted to take on the opportunity side of things. And so it just feels completely different. And we are just so blessed to be able to have ketones as this vehicle to change lives for the better. And we do have a few more stories on here that I'm super excited for other educators to share as well, on how maybe the opportunity side of things has also changed their life. I mean, everyone needs ketones. I'm a true believer that everyone's going to be drinking ketones at some point. But some people need our community, and some people need our business opportunity as well. So I'm going to bring John on really quick to share his story about what ketones have done for him. John, are you there?
I am here. I think I'm listed under Amber Horn. She's the famous one in the family. But my name's John Horn. We are from Oregon, right near Salem. I'm an educator, father of 6. That's kind of my my prized possession would be a title, would be husband and father. But educator, I taught special education in middle school for 3 years. After that, assistant principal for a couple of years. Then I was principal for 11 years, last 6 or 7 years. I've been director of special programs, human resources, assistant superintendent role. So education has been my world. My dad was a teacher. We've been drinking ketones for about 18 months. And I tell you what, knowing what I know now, raising those 6 kids and being an educator, as you guys have mentioned, putting your heart into your work, ketones would have been really nice years and years ago, but they're paying off now. And one of the things that stands out in my mind is the heart that we put into serving our kids and supporting them and families and trying to get the best out of all of them, which means the best of ourselves. And then we often don't have the energy left at home to actually give the best to those who deserve it as well. And that would be our families. And that's something that's really impacted me is having that extra energy, having that extra mood. Of course, I lost 20 pounds of fat. That was great without really changing much other than drinking ketones. But there's a lot of policies, a lot of rules, a lot of laws and dynamics in education. And I'm in a lot of meetings supporting a lot of people. And the mental clarity that comes from the ketones is really beneficial. It's really key and helps navigate those very complex situations. So it's just been a blessing in my life over the last 18 months. Now, my wife, she has even a better story. And I know a number of you have heard that, but 100 pounds of fat loss, better mood, reduced cravings, reduced appetite. She was on soda. You guys have talked about teachers drinking coffee, soda, energy drinks. So Amber kind of transitioned from soda to energy drinks, and it was terrible. I felt, but that's what she was trying to do to find that energy. So hasn't had an energy drink since starting ketones, but way increase in energy and mood. And I'm so grateful that she's drinking ketones rather than any of that other stuff. Now, some of you may have heard or may know I have a little cheap side to me. And so I was concerned about what are these going to cost, but cheaper than anything she was drinking previously, right? So saving a little money then, but the referral program, which allows her to get and us to get ketones for free, has been amazing. Freeing up a little cash, of course, is nice. But then just digging into the business, the impact that I see and hear as I'm around Amber and kind of hearing some of the things that people are sharing as she's working with them to drink ketones and to get healthier has absolutely been amazing. Life changes. And she, it's not all her, of course. She's just the vehicle, and ketones, the key to helping people make those changes and get so much healthier in their lives. It's been amazing to see the happiness that brings her. And I think parents and educators need these so that when those kids go home that we work with, they have that same love, that same support, that same energy. So let's focus on the kids still, but let's try to get these ketones in some of these homes for these parents, for the educators, so they have that great positive experience at home. And one thing I just thought of the other day is ibuprofen. Amber often would say, "Hey, do you know where the ibuprofen is? Can you get me some ibuprofen?" And just the other day, I thought, I haven't heard her talk or say the word ibuprofen probably for months and months. And, just one other little piece of benefits that I'm seeing. I have some educators that I've seen starting drinking ketones. One, she retired because she was getting a little tired as an instructional assistant. She's back this year drinking ketones. She's substituting every day as a teacher position. And she's out there probably not giving away 5-packs of trials, but she's giving them out and just has tons of energy, even though she felt like she was kind of fading away and didn't have much left to give. Powerful stories. Ketones are awesome for educators and, of course, for everybody.
Oh my goodness. I wish that I had ketones as an educator as well. I taught those entire 9 years not knowing about ketones. And granted, they were only around that very last year that I taught, but holy moly, it would have been nice to have ketones when I was teaching. I don't know what it's like to be a mom without ketones. For me, I actually drank ketones my entire pregnancy. But if you are pregnant, trying to get pregnant, or you're nursing, make sure you check with your doctor. But I took ketones to my doctor and I said, this is what I'm doing. And he said, Sarah, like your blood work, I can't believe like how amazing like your health is. Like keep doing what you're doing. And my pregnancy was insanely amazing. It was so beautiful. I never took a nap. I never had an ounce of caffeine and I never got nauseous the entire time. And my doctor said it was because of the B vitamins. So after I had my daughter, I took him into her pediatrician. I'm like, I'm going to start my breastfeeding journey. And I want to drink these. I want to do the caffeinated ones. And so I continued to drink ketones my entire breastfeeding journey. I breastfed for 2 years. It was absolutely amazing. So I love the fact that our ketones are bioidentical. I truly believe that is the only reason that I was allowed to drink them during breastfeeding and throughout my pregnancy. But again, if you're thinking about that, make sure you check with your doctor. I like what John said about cravings and like appetite suppression. I mentioned coffee. I have not had coffee in 5 years now when I would drink it so often. I used to love candy. I used to love pasta. I used to love breads. I used to love all this stuff. And if you told me, Sarah, you can't have that stuff anymore because you need to be in a state of ketosis, I would have said, I don't want your silly diet. Like, I'm not like changing anything. But guess what? I don't crave any of those things anymore. The cool thing about ketones is you'll start to crave the things that your body needs for survival, not what you've conditioned yourself to think that you need. So a lot of the times we condition ourselves to think that we need things. We like certain things because of the way it feels, the way it smells. But really, when we start putting our natural fuel source in our body, we start to realize that some of those things really don't serve us. So it's amazing to start checking things off and being like, I actually don't want that. I actually don't want that. And you start leaning towards what your body actually needs. So it has been incredible postpartum to be able to lose all of my baby weight as well. Sometimes I'm like, I don't deserve it. But ketones have seriously been so incredible. Christina, I would love to hear a little bit about what the business side has done for you. I know the product has completely changed your life. Like, what has the business side done for you?
Yes. So yeah, the business has completely changed my life. And I didn't start the business until I'd been drinking ketones for 1.5 years. And when I started, we had chosen for me to be home and doing coaching part-time and then being home with my girls. And that meant a sacrifice for our finances. And it meant that we were living paycheck to paycheck and that we were paying off debts with our extra and that we just couldn't afford any extras. We were not able to splurge on a date night. We couldn't get the things that we wanted. We only could have what we needed. And we always felt like we were held back from fully living due to our finances, and only traveled when family made it possible for us to. And all of those things caused some tension in our marriage. And the fact that we got ahead, we felt like we were put back by whether that was maybe the car breaking down or another bill that was unexpected. And it didn't feel good. We stopped dreaming for our future as a family. And now, and also with all that, I had always excelled at what I did and in all of the roles that I had in education, but I never felt like those roles were fully utilizing all of me, all of my strengths and my gifts. And I felt fulfilled. I was good at them, but I didn't feel all of what I was looking for. I knew there was something more, but I didn't know what that was. And I also wanted to be more as a mom, as a wife. And I always was also looking for like, what should I do before what I wanted to do, and often gave more worth to others' opinions than to myself. So since being with Prove It, I've been able to invest in our layer learning events and to travel regularly. And with that has meant that I've shifted completely. I'm a different person inside and out from the product, but inside I'm a completely different and better mom, wife, friend, educator, everything, all of the above. I'm better because of what Prove It provides, and the community, all of the learning that has happened has made me a better person. And I've more fully accepted it and like live into my unique purposes. I advocate for myself, and I've determined that what I want, and I've accepted that what I want is okay, worthy, and good. We've also been able now to pay off some debts. We travel regularly. Like I said, we're actually going to Mexico, near where Sarah's at right now. We're going to be there in 8 days, and we're going to be there for a month for our first learning trip as a family. And I've earned a car that the company pays for and that's reliable. And so I don't have that stress that was on there before with cars that would break down. And now not only are we've started dreaming again, but we're actually like living those dreams. We're making those dreams into a reality. And so Prove It's given me this vehicle, which I get to use my strengths. I'm able to fulfill my purpose. And I also get to wake up thankful for what I get to share, how I get to share it, and change lives daily. I continue to take steps toward being my best version of myself, and at the same time get to inspire other people to step into their greatness and to continue on their own journeys of transformation and be a part of that process. And that gives me so much fulfillment and joy. So I'm excited in the future for this to continue and to build wealth that provides us with the opportunities that we get to design exactly how we want to contribute and live as a family, to build a global team, and to travel the world with my family and to help others turn their personal and their family goals into a reality. So for me, this is just taking education to another level and making that, I know as educators, it's a lot about the impact and the ripple impact. We know the power of one, and one means a ton, because we know what happens if you impact one student's life or one parent's life or one other educator's life. And that I see that in the same way with Prove It. We get to have a ripple impact in the world because of what we're sharing. Thanks, Sarah.
That is so amazing. And if you hear background noise here, it sounds like the party is really stepping it up. There must be a show going on back here. I'm over here celebrating with my horchata ketones that I just finished. But yes, I absolutely love that. John mentioned free ketones. So let me explain really quick how to get free ketones, because for me getting started, the same as John, I was like, okay, if I can get these for free, why wouldn't I get them for free? However, I knew of 2 people right away that I wanted to share ketones with. I called my favorite people, my mom and my sister, and I was like, you got to drink ketones. And they're like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know all of the details yet, but I know how I feel. And I see a vision of where it's going. Like, trust me, just drink up. They both started drinking them. As a result, mine were free. And then they both got theirs for free as well. So moving into the business opportunity, if you can think of more than 2 people that need ketones, where in my opinion, just because I've been drinking them for so long and because I see the vision and I've been able to collect the stories, I know everybody should be drinking ketones. So we never run out of people to talk to. Everybody needs ketones. If you're still an educator, that teacher on your left, that teacher on your right, like they both need ketones, and they would thank you forever if they had the opportunity to drink them. And so our opportunity to be a promoter, it's $49 for the year to be a promoter. So that's going to get you a back office. That's going to get you a website. That's going to get you everything that you need to start making a commission on sharing ketones with other people. Right now, we have an amazing deal. It's called the Dollar Keto Club. So it's $1 for the entire year to be a promoter. And then you can choose some different packs. We have a 5-bundle pack, or we have a 10-bundle pack. So you would get 10 boxes of ketones, and it's going to come at 40% off. And I believe they're still throwing in the freebie. Christina, can you give me a yes if they're still throwing in the freebie of 30 extra servings? Yes. Like, that blows my mind. So it's 30 servings. So what it is, that comes absolutely free. So it's $1 to be a promoter. You're going to get 10 boxes at 40% off. Remember, that's only one option. You don't have to choose that. You're like, I don't want 10 boxes. You don't have to get started with 10 boxes. You can get started with a $49 fee and 1 box of ketones for yourself. That's all you have to get started with. So this is just an option to kind of maximize what it is you can get for your money. So $1 to be a promoter, 10 boxes of ketones at 40% off. And right now you're going to get 10 trial packs absolutely free. And each one of those trial packs, you're going to get 3 servings of caffeinated keto nat. And these are amazing to hand out to other people. And what I do is I sell mine for $25. So when you sell it, that's how you're getting your money back of what you just poured into it. So you can get back with the person that referred you to this call and say, okay, I want to get started with that big pack. And I want to trial out my samples, because you can hand out those 3-day trial packs that you got absolutely free. But something else that we do is we sell our trials 5 for $40. So those 10 boxes that you get, you can take one of each kind of flavor, because it'll come with 5 different flavors, put them together and sell it as a trial pack. That's how you're going to get all of your investment back. Plus, you're going to make a little bit of a profit. And it comes with extra bonuses and everything. And it's absolutely amazing. So that's the way Christina got started. That's the way myself got started. And I thought to myself, like, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to be like a salesperson. I'm really bad at that. If you ever hired me to like be on your car lot, I would get fired the first day, because I'm really bad at selling things. However, I'm really good at sharing something that I love. Like, if you follow me on social media, it doesn't matter if I'm getting compensated for it or not. If I love something, I'm going to tell you about it. The nice thing about ketones is that we do get compensated for it. So when you get to collect that story, which is truly what I believe that we are doing here, like, we get to collect those stories. And as educators, we always wanted to impact that kiddo's life to where they would say, because of you, my life is better. Because of you, I chose this path in life. It's because of you. Like, I always searched for that, like, deep in my heart. But teaching the Pythagorean theorem over and over, and I had a new set of kids every 45 minutes, like, I know I made an impact, but I didn't get validated as much as I really, really wanted to as a teacher, and didn't always feel the appreciation as much. But with sharing ketones, like, you will get those messages all the time of people saying, my life is better because of ketones, because it's done this for me. It's done that for me. It's done this for my kiddo. It's done this for my mom. And it is just such a beautiful journey to be a part of that. And if you are an educator drinking ketones, like, you're about to kill it in your lesson planning. Like, I keep thinking, like, man, when that Common Core came around and we were switching our curriculum left and right, and I was a brand new teacher 4 years in a row, because they couldn't figure out the curriculum. Like, I wish I had ketones. I would just kill it in that lesson planning if I had that. So everybody will be drinking ketones at some point, like, whether it's the product that you need, which it will change your life forever. Like, you'll have a better energy. Yeah, you'll have 38% more oxygen to your brain, which does a whole list of different things for your body. You'll get physical change with consistency. But some people truly need our community. Some people need to feel like they have somebody to fall back on. They have somebody to push them forward. They have somebody to support them. They have someone to say, like, I understand where you're at right now. Like, this is what I did when I was in your place. Like, it feels really good to have just this army behind you that wants you to succeed, that wants you to win. And the personal development is something that I've never experienced before. I wish as a teacher, we would all get these personal development where we would make I am statements, and we would crush through our like limiting beliefs that are holding us back as teachers. Like, I wish that that was part of the program when it came to being better in our classrooms, because for me, I didn't get that until after I left the classroom. And I think about what a value that would have been in my classroom as well. So our personal development, you were invited just as a customer. So if you want to come as a customer and you're like, this promoting thing, Sarah, Christina, this is not for me. However, I want to drink ketones and I'm going to refer to people, you get to come to our personal development. We have a more event that's actually coming up, and it's all about being more of who you are meant to be. And so you are invited to come and check it out, to take a sneak peek. It is all virtual, so you can watch it from home. It is 3 days long, and it is awesome. So if you are listening right now and you're like, I really want to see more about what this community is, please tune into our event, get back to the person that referred you to this call and ask them, how do I get my hands on a more ticket? And I bet they can find a discounted ticket for you. And then lastly, some people really just need the business opportunity. For me, I was just searching for something to where I could like be with my husband and I could be with my daughter. My husband and my daughter are snuggling in bed right now. Like, I'm going to try not to cry, but it's like we get time. Like for Christina and I, like, it doesn't matter, like the money, like, yes, we both drive free cars. Like, that's amazing. Like when we're educators, like it's a car that I never could have afforded as an educator. However, the time that you get with your family, the time that you get to grow as a person, like you can never get that back. When my daughter was standing at this balcony a few hours ago, watching the monkeys swing through the trees and like doing monkey calls, like that's a memory that we will have forever and ever and ever. And we would have never had that if we didn't say yes to this opportunity. So the product, the community, the business has forever changed our life. And I know it could change yours too. Christina, I'm pretty complete. Is there anything that you want to add at the end before we let everyone go for their evening?
No, I just that if I could give this to every single educator that I come in contact, I would, or at least to try it, because I see what we deal with as educators every day, and I know what ketones can do. I've experienced it. I've seen it in so many others' lives. And so whether you're ready or not to step in, it's okay. We love what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing in your roles where you are. And if you're ready to just give it a try, give it a try. Get in where you fit in. We accept and want you here in whatever capacity you're ready for. And we know that this is not only going to affect your life on a deep level, but also everyone that you come in contact with.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you taking your time to be here for this guest call. Get back to the person that invited you if you have any questions at all. And thank you to each and every one of you for everything that you do. You do not go unnoticed. You are very loved. You are very valued. And we appreciate everything you do inside the classroom and outside the classroom that maybe somebody doesn't tell you. But I'm telling you, like, people appreciate you. So thank you for being an educator in our world. And everyone have a wonderful night.